this means I can go home. Alright, so I'm here to talk about Minecraft and Python and how you can combine the two for fun. Just as a warning at the beginning, a little bit of Laracat. I am not representing my employer today. This is just me. I own the copyright. Licensing is really tricky. There's been a bunch of issues in the Minecraft modding community recently about combining closed source Minecraft code with GPL plugin libraries. Be warned, it gets tricky. As far as I know, everything I've done here is legal. So, Minecraft. I tried to find a source for this image, but it turns out this image is everywhere on the internet, so I couldn't find anything. Who here has played Minecraft? Okay, who here has not played Minecraft, but has at least seen someone play it or knows exactly what it is? Okay, put your hand up. If you did not yet, put your hand up. Okay, for your benefit, we're going to show you now what Minecraft is. So this is, that's not Minecraft, this is Minecraft. And it's now nighttime, so I'm just going to go to the server and set it to the beginning of the day so we can actually see. Because the projector's not very bright. This is Minecraft, or a Minecraft world. It's an automatically, procedurally generated, randomly world made of blocks that you can wander around. You can see some chickens over there. Essentially, you can wander around, and the first thing that you do when you start join a new Minecraft world is punch a tree. So it's going here. You punch the tree explodes and gives you a block of wood. Then you can do things, you can put that block of wood somewhere, you can craft it into other things, and you can build stuff. And generally it's this big open world that you can run around in, explore, you can walk for hours and you'll never hit the end of the map, and build whatever you want in it. Going back over to the slides. Who plays Minecraft? It turns out Minecraft has a surprisingly wide age demographic. As you can see how many people put their hands up here. A lot of you have played Minecraft. But it has been, not only is it one of the most popular games ever, it's rivaling Tetris, I think, in numbers. This number up here for the number of people who have bought the PC Mac game is not even doing it justice, because there's also more than that have bought the Xbox version and other consoles. But as you can see here, a lot of the Minecraft users are in this sort of, I don't know, 21 and younger kind of range, and a lot of them are teenagers. It turns out I teach teenagers how to code in Python, and I've been doing this for 6 years, but the NCSS group, which is run out of Sydney University in Australia, has been teaching Python for more than 10 years now, starting with the sort of Python in the ones versions. And we get about 100 students every year for the summer camp, and about 5,000 students every year on an online programming competition called the NCSS Challenge. If you're interested in anything or anything about the state of computer science education in Australia, highly recommend Dr. James R. Carnes. He's that guy with the glasses in the middle of the picture. He gave a keynote at PyCon AU this year. I would highly recommend checking that out. Turns out I'm not the only person that's had the idea of combining Python and Minecraft. As you might have seen, that some of the kids over in the kids workshop today have been playing around with the Raspberry Pi Python API for Minecraft. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to call it McPipey. It's really cool. It gives you an API into your sort of locally running version of Minecraft. It uses the older and open version of Minecraft rather than the newer, shinier, but closed source version of Minecraft. And you get this API where you can change any block in the world at any time. Also, another thing to mention is not Python, but ComputerCraft is another mod for Minecraft where it actually adds in a computer into the game. So you can collect resources, build a computer, click on that computer, and code in it. And you have this little terminal that you can write Lua scripts in. You can create robots that mine for you, but you program them in Lua and not Python, and that makes me sad. So what I wanted, neither of these really did. What I wanted something that was safe from multiple players to be using the same Minecraft world. So you could have teams that were working on the same thing, or teams that were competing against each other, without the risk that one person's code bug could wipe out your entire world. And to have it kind of in a more restricted way, so that older students, this is mostly aimed at high schoolers rather than the kind of 8 to 12-year-olds, which is what the Raspberry Pi is really aimed at. The Raspberry Pi Minecraft API is aimed at. And I wanted to keep the fun of Minecraft. This is not a separate thing that you just do in the Minecraft world. This is you're playing Minecraft as you normally would in survival mode, but you have these extra API that helps you avoid the manual and repetitive labor. As you notice when I was punching that tree, it takes a really long time. If you want to find some of the cool stuff when you're mining underground, it's really slow, it can get really boring, and this is exactly what I want to teach kids. When you have something that's boring and repetitive, you should write a script to do it for you. Also, of course, when you're working with kids that have just learned Python, it needs to be really simple. I wanted to make it so that you didn't need to mod your version of Minecraft. Turns out this was probably a stupid idea because kids seem to be really comfortable modding their Minecraft anyway. So, live demo, what exactly do we have? This is what a pumpkin looks like in Minecraft. If you haven't seen a pumpkin before, they grow naturally in the world and they look like this. But because it has a face and you can tell which direction it's pointing, I decided to use a pumpkin as a representative of your bot in Minecraft, your bot friend that travels with you as you're playing Minecraft, and you can script the bot to do whatever you want. So let's have a look. So if we head back over to Minecraft, I can, in the game, type spawn robot, and I have here my happy little Minecraft robot. There's a couple of in-game commands. You can move up, robot move down, robot turn left, so it's now facing this direction. The in-game commands are pretty simple, but they don't let you do everything, which is by design, because we want people to be coding in Python. So here we have regular Python 3 interpreter. I've created a module, so this is the peril of live demos. Call it bot challenge. Naming is hard. Okay. And so I'm going to create a connection to my robot. I need to tell it what my name is, so it knows which robot to control. And currently I'm running the server locally because who can trust conference Wi-Fi? So if I tell this to move up, it tells me that it succeeded. If we go back over to Minecraft, we can see that the robot has moved up. So using the interpreter isn't very good because you sort of type one thing and then switch back to Minecraft and then type another thing. But if we have a look at some of the little scripts I've got here, one of the things you want to do in Minecraft is mine down into the ground and look for certain objects. So in this case, we're literally just going down. We're mining a convenient set of stairs that I'll be able to move up and down myself. And we're also looking for iron ore. So it will print to the console if it finds some iron ore and the locations of that iron ore. So we go back and we can check out in Minecraft that our robot is happily digging into the ground here. And we can keep going down. And it will keep going down and down and down. And hopefully, if I'm lucky, it's going to find some iron ore eventually. Yay, we found some iron. Okay. It's kind of annoying if you need to actually code every single step to get your robot to follow you around, so it's always with you. So your robot can find out its own location and your location and does some very, very basic pathfinding. So this is a tiny script that will cause the robot to follow you around. So let's run that. And if we go back over to Minecraft, and we can see the robot's coming out of the tunnel. So if we come up here, and yep. It's a little bit scary having a creature like that following you around. And one other script that I'm going to just run and hope that it works without watching it while I go back to the slides. Okay, so I get really annoyed when I come to PyCon and someone gives a talk. It's like, hey, I built this cool thing, but then I never actually get to find out how it works without going to read the code. So I'm going to go through a little bit about how this works. So you can see here at the bottom, so I've used blue to represent stuff that's written in Python, and this kind of ugly browny yellow color to represent stuff that's written in Java. And the Minecraft server is written in Java, so is the client, and it uses their own Minecraft protocol that I've not looked into in great detail to communicate between the client and the server. Fortunately, the modding community has built really, really awesome APIs to hook into the closed source Minecraft server. If you've ever looked at like obfuscated, decompiled Java code, it's awful. So fortunately, you don't have to do this because the Bucket plugin API is fantastic. So I've written a custom plugin, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about how that works. But you can connect to the server over a separate network connection, and I use a Google Protocol Buffer API to communicate between the client and the server, because conveniently protocol buffers have implementations in Python and Java. They also compress they write really small, and they're relatively fast to read and write, so you don't have to spend time parsing JSON over and over again. So on the server side, this is a little bit more about sort of how the plugin API works. You have the Minecraft server, which is responsible for keeping the entire state of the world, so every single block. You have this Bucket plugin, which allows you to read and manipulate that state whenever you want. You have event handlers, so you can say register for events. Whenever someone breaks a block, you get an event. Whenever a player right-clicks, you get an event. So you can register for different types of events. And you can also schedule tasks that will happen in the sort of main execution thread of the Minecraft server, because the Minecraft server does not let you concurrently edit the world. It's fairly single-threaded almost, not quite, but it has this kind of main event loop that runs 20 times per second. It's called a tick. Unfortunately, when you have a typical Java network server, you want to be spawning threads for different network connections and so on. So when an API request comes in, it's happening asynchronously to the execution loop for the Minecraft server. So any actions that are happening to change the world, so if you're breaking a block or moving the robot, gets thrown into a concurrently editable queue, and then when every tick happens in the Minecraft server, we'll pull the actions from the queue, execute them, and then return the response to the API. On the Python side, concurrency works a little bit differently. In typical Python style, I've gone with it looks kind of like it's asynchronous, but it's really not, and used Greenlet. So we have here a very basic example program where you import the library, you establish the connection, and you move the robot up. And you can have any kind of other code in here that you want. So using Greenlets effectively let you treat a chunk of code like a generator. It will, when you switch out of a Greenlet, it will keep that entire execution state frozen until you switch back into the Greenlet and give it a return value. So here we have the kind of networking Greenlet, which is using the Python 3 async IO library. This is all Python 3 only. I originally started on Python 2, and converting to Python 3 was a bit of a pain, but of course we're not going to talk about that. So we create this connection to the robot, and it switches over to the network Greenlet, starts the async IO event loop, and then switches back into the robot Greenlet, effectively pausing the async IO event loop until we reach the next case where we want to use it again by sending an action to the robot. And it will switch back into the async IO event loop again, send the request, and sit there asynchronously waiting for the response. When it gets a response or when it times out, it can then move back to the execution flow. So this is how you can kind of use a nice asynchronous library for doing the network handling, but still have an API that looks like it's happening perfectly synchronously, perfectly in order. So this way, kids that are using this don't need to worry about event handlers and registering things. Yeah. So this is by far the coolest thing that's been built with this script so far. It's a bit dark. You can see there's a ship there, and you can see like right in the middle at the front there's a pumpkin, which is the robot that built this ship. So this is a multi-step process. You need to write the scripts that then first go and collect the materials that you need, gather them together, build the code that will then build the structure that you want, and then add in all of the bits of detail. And so let's jump back through to Minecraft to see what the robot did. This is one of the first things that you usually want to do in Minecraft. Oh gosh, that's really dark. It's nighttime again. Let's make it day. One of the first things you usually want to do is build a hut so that you can be protected from monsters. And this is a hut. This is sort of one of the example scripts that is in the GitHub repo, so we can go inside and see. There's a bit of a tree there that got stuck in it. There's a chicken in the background. Okay. So that's a basic overview, I guess, of what the bot is capable of. What I want to do with this, so this is still pretty early days. The API is very minimal, but it seems to be enough that it will do whatever you want it to do, so I'm pretty happy with that. What I want to do is try it out on a bunch of my high school aged students in a kind of competition sense, where you get a bunch of students all on the same server. They have to write the code to gather materials and build something where they get extra points for how rare the materials are that they used and how much effort they put into actually gathering the materials and in order to build the thing, as well as the aesthetic quality of whatever they built. I also want to check out the client modding side of the idea and possibly merging with Computercraft or forking it and making it Python instead of Lua. I also wanted, as you can see, when I was using the robot, I kept having to switch back to Python and switch to a different Python script whenever I wanted to do something different. I want to be able to register, here is my Python script, and then in the game issue a command to the robot that references a script that I wrote that will then execute some other piece of Python code, so that I can just say, hey robot, follow me, and then I can walk around the world. And I want to have multiple bots per player, because at the moment it's just one per player that's in the Minecraft world. I had some open questions for stuff that could help me. If anyone has experience building Minecraft Windows installers for Python modules that include all of the dependencies, I've not been able to manage to get this work. I have found a free IDE for macOS other than idle. Turns out PyCharm has a free version now. And if anyone knows of a library for networking that has exponential backoff built in that works with Python 3, that would be really awesome. I started out using Twisted, but then had to switch to async.io because I wanted Python 3 support, because I had hundreds of students that just learned Python 3. So that is all I have. The code's up there, and if you want to try it out, the server address to connect to in Minecraft is europe.botchallenge.net. Server's running, feel free to jump in. You use the same server address when you're connecting from Python, and all you need to do install is use pip and install botchallenge. Cool. Okay. We have lots of time for questions, apparently. When I was timing this, I took half an hour, so I did this in half the time. I'm talking too fast. Yes.
Wow, that was super impressive. I know pro developers who haven't done anything that cool. That is awesome. So what did you find more difficult?
Professional developer.
Awesome, then here you go. I thought you said you were a teacher. Okay.
No, I do this in my spare time.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually a software engineer at Google.
Okay, cool, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
What did you find was the hardest part about doing this?
Java build rules and using Maven, actually, yes. And also, it so happened that while I was building this, a bunch of the licensing issues around Minecraft modding came up. And because, it's complicated. But in terms of, this was not particularly difficult as a software engineering project. Okay. Some of the threading stuff that I was talking about and making stuff look like it was happening synchronously on the Python side was probably the trickiest stuff.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for a great talk. I have a couple of questions. First, about the implementation. I think in connection with Minecraft logic of your created bots. In Minecraft, as soon as the player leaves the area, nothing happens there. If you leave your bot in the area and leave it, will the bot work, or will it stop again?
So this is probably going to be a little bit buggy. This is something I've not fixed yet. The bot will still keep working away if you leave if the player leaves. But I've not really experimented with actually just having nobody on the server at all and leaving the bots running. There was a design to stay running and keep going if they're not connected to the server. So time will probably stop passing in the server, but the bot will still be able to move around and have access to the world and create and destroy things.
I mean, not leave the server, but leave the certain area of update. The chunk, yes, one chunk area. If, for example, if you grow something, you go away, nothing grows when you come back, because you should be present. This is how the server side works.
Yep.
So that was my question about.
So the API still lets you access the blocks that are not present in the currently loaded chunks. I believe it probably will load the chunks. I have not experimented with this, but this is definitely something I should test out and make sure it still works.
Thank you. Yeah. And one more question. Have you tried using the Python version of Minecraft?
The Python version of Minecraft? Yes,
there's a Python version of Minecraft. This is not a fork that's made by some enthusiasts. It's on GitHub. You may look at, to my mind, it's Bosky. User is Bosky, Minecraft. The first version was about 1,000 lines long and was in one file, and it worked. It's written entirely in Pyglet. It uses OpenGL, so it kind of works. But maybe you could try to look into it, so you'll have access to everything.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting to check it out. One of the things I wanted to do in this version, though, was use the official Minecraft, like that people use the Minecraft that they're used to, and also it's the Minecraft that looks the prettiest and has all of the features and all of the things that they're used to using. I didn't want kids to be, if I want to do programming, I have to use the dodgy old version of Minecraft.
It's Java.
Yeah. This means I have to work in Java. That's kind of just an unfortunate thing.
So what are the powers and abilities of this bot? It looks like it can mine for free and it can ignore gravity. How much can it carry? Can it spawn anything?
That is something that I plan to show people, in my talk, but probably just skipped over. Let's get the bot to come back to wherever I am. Here we go. Let's move a bit over here. I'm sitting in the water now. Okay. So your bot does not have infinite inventory. It only has infinite cobblestone and dirt, because if you've played Minecraft, you know that you just build up a supply of cobblestone and dirt all the time. So the bot has an inventory which you can open just by right-clicking on it, like anything else. It has the size of a double chest in Minecraft, and anything that's in the bot's inventory, it can place. So it can place an infinite amount of dirt and cobblestone, which is what I use to build the hut there. But otherwise, you have to give it things to place, or anything that it collects as it's mining, it can also place. But yes, you don't have an infinite supply of whatever you want.
But it can mine anything like diamond or whatever, what's the thing you get from lava? The obsidian. It mines everything as though you're holding a diamond pickaxe. And so if you mine diamond ore, then you'll just get diamonds, you won't get diamond ore. It's a possible extension in the future to have other tools, like if it has a tool, then you could, if you wanted to cut blocks of leaves, then you could use shears, or if you wanted to get water, you could use a bucket. But that's not implemented yet. At the moment, it just assumes that you're holding a diamond pickaxe. And does it interact at all with the monsters? Does it attack them? Do they see and attack it?
They see it completely as a pumpkin, so they completely ignore it. You can, in theory, attack monsters, though. I've seen the robot accidentally kill a chicken. Because, not by mining it, but because there's a chicken right here, we could try and...
By crushing it?
By crushing it, robot. And as you can see, the robot now has a raw chicken here. The way this works is Minecraft does not allow an entity to be within a block. So when the bot moves, it doesn't check if there's an entity in the way. It will check if there's another block in the way, but it will just place a block there. If there's a chicken there, the chicken is now stuck inside the block and the chicken will die. You could, in theory, chase down monsters and try and... but there's no current API to see where the monsters are, so that would not be possible at the moment.
And it just hoovers up anything that's sitting around nearby?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it will automatically collect any items that are spawned in a certain radius. Okay. Yeah. The documentation for the API, if you're interested, is on this GitHub site.
Can the bot be destroyed?
No, the bot cannot be destroyed. I can show you what happens if you try and destroy it. It's I keep the locations of the bots stored in a separate map from the Minecraft world. So the pumpkin that is here is not so much just a block of pumpkin, it's just a representation of the current location of the robot. So if I try and destroy the pumpkin, I've not been able to actually prevent it from happening, but the pumpkin just kind of reappears as soon as you destroy it. And I had to add some extra code in so that it didn't continually pick up pumpkin objects. There's a question at the back.
Probably loud enough. One, is this ever going to work for the Pocket Edition? And
for which edition?
Of Minecraft, the mobile.
Oh, the Pocket Edition.
And so the potential to do something intricately mad with redstone is pretty good. I mean, have you done anything with redstone yet, or you've got any plans looking for a compile or arbitrary codes with redstone shooting machine or something?
The possibilities are limitless. I think if you were doing something that was a large area and very intricate redstone network, you might be better off using the existing MC Pipey API for that, because that will just let you change whatever blocks that you want in the world. This would be quite slow to do with this bot style interface, but it's definitely possible. You could plan out your circuitry and then go through and place all of the redstone and all of the pieces that you wanted. But you would also have to collect all of that redstone first. Yeah.
And that's the Pocket Edition?
I haven't experimented with this. I know that the Xbox Edition is not compatible with PC version servers. So if you can connect from your Pocket Edition to a regular PC server, then that should work. But I don't think that you can. Yeah.
I don't have a question, just an answer maybe to one of your questions. You should have a look at Py2Xe, because as for the installer for Windows, because it works on Python 3 now.
Oh, okay. Py2Xe. Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Thank you very much.
Okay.